Okay, let's try and make sense of the numbers that are coming thick and fast in the big battle for Delhi. Allow me to introduce you to our guest joining us tonight, Rajat Sethi, who, a political analyst, leans towards the BJP, have Anmol Pawar from the Aam Aadmi Party, looking a bit glum and worried, I think, putting up a 4 smiles. Let's try and see what the AAP is making of this. We've got Zafar Islam from the Bharatiya Janata Party. Rahul Verma joins us. He's put on a saffron jacket. What does that color suggest? And we've got Yashwant Deshmukh from Sea Voter, and I'll take you through some of the cuts from Yashwant Deshmukh's data for Delhi as well. His team is putting out those numbers tonight. So let's get started. I'll take you through 2 polls that came out. There is CNX and there is today's Chanakya. Let's give you a sense of what these pollsters say. I'll start with CNX, suggesting 49 to 61 seats for the Bharatiya Janata Party alliance. Remember, 36 is the magic figure. That's what you need to form the government. So if you've got 49 to 61, that is a big victory for the Bharatiya Janata Party. Anything more than 35 is good. The Aam Aadmi Party, the once mighty Aam Aadmi Party, could be reduced, according to CNX, to between 10 and 19 seats. The Congress could get a maximum of 1. That is according to CNX. Let's now look at today's Chanakya. Today's Chanakya suggests that the BJP could pick 51 seats, the Aam Aadmi Party 19. So directionally, today's Chanakya as well seems to be suggesting that you've got the BJP crossing the 50 figure substantially more than they need, and the Aam Aadmi Party virtually collapsing. Most of these polls, Rajat Sethi, seem to be picking up a 6%, 5 to 6% vote share gap between the BJP and the AAP. And if it's actually like that, it'll be a very decisive victory. In the build-up, pundits were confused. Some netas were confused as well. But if 6% is the gap on Super Saturday, it's a decisive win for the BJP.
Well, if you look directionally, all prominent exit polls that have come in have all indicated towards one direction. The gap, vote share gap between Aam Aadmi Party and the BJP is consistently around 5 to 6%. If these numbers hold, and there is a big if, you will see Arvind Kejriwal, who would be crestfallen, very sad. His entire politics would come crumbling down before his eyes. And this is, this has been possible largely because of a negative vote in Delhi. I still do not see this as a positive vote for one party, but, building up of this fatigue factor among the Delhi voters who've been fed up for the past 3-4 years because, of a lack of coordination between the central government and the state government. They believe that they've had it enough. Let's attempt giving BJP a chance. And perhaps if you go by these numbers, looks like Delhi doesn't even need a face to vote for the BJP.
They voted against Kejriwal.
They voted against Kejriwal.
These numbers are correct.
Yes.
I want to go across to Yashwant Deshmukh and try and start making sense of his numbers. Yashwant, directionally, your poll also picks up a 3% gap in favor of the BJP over the Aam Aadmi Party. And I want to explain, and Yashwant will do that in greater detail, where Yashwant's poll is different from the others, is that he's picking up a big pro-AAP vote amongst women. Other polls are saying amongst women, the gap for the BJP is lesser, just 1 or 2%. In Yashwant's poll, there's an up to 10 to 15% gap in favor of AAP amongst women. But women are fewer than men in terms of votes, according to Yashwant, and therefore he still thinks the BJP will be in front, but with a lesser mandate. Yashwant, your team's been working through yesterday and today in putting out the numbers. Give our viewers the macro picture in terms of your findings.
So the macro picture is that, in our tracker also, we have been finding that females were pro-AAP, and the gap was reducing among the males. And what has happened when we stopped our tracker 3 days prior to the poll and those post-budget scenario, BJP has taken decisive lead among the males in Delhi. And that is where it has delivered it to them. The male middle-class voter of Delhi has gone decisively in favor of the BJP. But somehow that lead did not come down among the female voters. And some may think that, okay, it is a statistical tie because, if you take the average, it will look down like 43 each. But it doesn't work out that way because of a simple reason. Among the electorate of Delhi, there is 54% male and just 46% females. So in Delhi electorate, it is not 50-50 share of the male and female voters. this is why, Rahul, I was very keen to see if Election Commission can give us the turnout figure of male and female separately. That would have given us more clarity. If there is no difference between the turnout figures of male and female, then it is probably going to be the BJP's way. But if the female voter turnout is higher than the male turnout, like as we have seen in many other states, then Aam Aadmi Party stands a good chance. But by and large, we figure out a 3-point difference between Aam Aadmi Party and
Let's spend some time, Rahul Verma, on the voter turnout percentages. This is amongst the lowest in the last several elections. Usually, after the last data comes out and the EC was criticized in Maharashtra and before that in Haryana, there's a 3, 4, 5% increase overnight. This time they haven't done it. They put out data at 11:30. They've stuck to that at 60.42. This is at least 2.5% lesser than the last election and substantially lesser than 2015. What do you make of the voter turnout, and in whose favor could the reduction go?
So first point, Rahul, I think I'll agree with what Rajat said in the beginning, which is that there is no momentum in favor of any party, right? If there was momentum in any favor of any party, we should have seen an increase in turnout numbers, which is what the 2015. So you saw an increase from 2008 to 2013 to 2015. And then the momentum dropped. It doesn't matter on the seat. But basically, turnout will increase if people are coming out to vote for a political party. It doesn't matter they win, but there has to be a momentum. So there is no momentum in that sense. Second, I think given this 54-46 sort of like difference in the electorate, the women turnout has to be higher than men turnout for them to be able to make a difference in this election. This has not happened in Delhi. So in 2020, both men and women had turned out at the same rate of 62% point here and there. So unless, if all polls are picking, one, that there is some difference between BJP and AAP on women voters, AAP leads among women voters, but the gap that BJP is able to pick among men voters, that can only be filled or reversed if women turnout is very, very high. Of course, these are sort of like poll numbers, so we don't know what will happen on 8th. And third point, I think we had talked about this yesterday, and Rajat also made this point, which is this election is much more of a referendum on Arvind Kejriwal as CM of Delhi, rather than a momentum built up by the BJP.
But what I don't understand is, why can't the Election Commission just be more predictable in terms of putting out its data? There should be a particular timeline by when data for women, men gets put out. And if, say, in Haryana and Maharashtra, there was a massive 5-6% surge overnight between the data that came out late evening and the next day, then how come there is no change at all? One argument could be that Delhi is a much smaller state and therefore, there was no need for revision. But a certain amount of predictability for data analysts and for students of politics is just much easier. Otherwise, what happens is all kinds of conspiracies do the round. But they'll say, daba liya vote, hame pata hi nahi. Anmol Power, if we ask them, we're already seeing from the Aam Aadmi Party, they're alleging they're trying to buy 7 MLAs. Arey sir, abhi to pata hi nahi ki aapka MLA kaun sa hai, to 15 crore kisko mil rahe hain?
भाजपा तो जानी जाती है इसके लिए विधायक खरीदने बेचने के लिए.
No, but it just seems like a loser's lament. Shouldn't you just wait till Super Saturday before you start leveling these charges?
No, we are forming the government, Rahul ji, and history has demonstrated that these exit polls are often unreliable, leaving room for yet another surprising turn of events on election results day. And we have seen in 2013, 2015 and 2020 assembly elections, you see the Punjab assembly elections 2017 and 22, they were way off the mark compared to the actual outcomes. So these exit polls are nothing but a manufactured narrative designed to mislead the people. And why am I saying this? Today, the Exisma India has released the data. And let's see the truth behind the numbers and why their prediction doesn't hold any ground. Delhi has 13,033 polling booths, accommodating around 1.5 crore registered voters. And the sample size of their exit poll is 13,302. Which means on average, one voter per booth has been surveyed. surveyed. Now, does it make any sense to predict the outcome of this massive election?
So that's not how
based on the
polling
opinion
happens.
of
That's not
one
how
person?
statistics happen.
That's
This is
not
the
that-
most educated
okay,
party.
Okay, one second, sir.
No.
You've got lots of people
Bhai,
who claim they went to
13,000
Harvard, Kennedy and elsewhere. That's not really how polling, you don't go to every polling
13,000
booth, right?
Bhai,
You go to
13,000
every
का sample
constituency, you
survey
pick
और
some
13,000
polling
का
booths, you
sample.
try and ensure it's a random stratified sample. You do not go to every polling
What
booth
he
looking
has-
for one person. That's
Rahulji,
not how
what-
polling happens.
What they have said is that they have covered all the 70 assembly constituencies. तो ये बताया ना भाई 13,000 बूथ है, 13,000 लोगों का इन्होंने सर्वे लिया है. That comes to 0.00083% of the total electorate. और आप कह रहे हैं कि इस पे विश्वास किया जाए.
Okay, let's go to Zafar Islam. There's Holi in some days from now. Is the BJP already got all the gulal out? Getting set to party or waiting till Super Saturday?
Rahul, we are very confident of our victory, but let me tell you that from day one, we are sure, and I'm sure that on 8th, you will get to see that we will have more
Can
than
I take
51%
this?
vote share.
Okay, I'm
Because
getting a
we were
call from
targeting-
Parvesh Verma. Parvesh Verma is the BJP's face from New Delhi. He's joining us on the show. Before you say anything, Parvesh ji, I want to tell you we are live right now. तो मैंने आपका कॉल लिया ये कहते हुए कि परवेश जी कई सारे पोल्स आ रहे हैं जो दिखा रहे हैं कि हो सकता है आप अरविंद केजरीवाल को हरा दे. यू मस्ट बी वेरी चार्ज्ड अप अबाउट दैट.
हाँ, ये तो अरविंद केजरीवाल को ही पता है क्यों हार रहा है.
अच्छा, आपको कॉन्फिडेंस है कि जीत रहे हो आप?
हाँ, मैंने अभी सबके साथ बैठे थे, पूरा हमने एनालिसिस किया, तो वी शुड विन बाय मोर देन 10,000 वोट्स.
अगर आप नई दिल्ली में जीत जाते हो तो कई कहेंगे कि फिर बीजेपी में चीफ मिनिस्टर बनने की दौड़ में प्रबल दावेदार आप बन जाओगे.
देखिए, ये तो पार्टी डिसाइड करेगी, विधायक दल हमारा डिसाइड करेगा. अभी तो मैंने सोचा नहीं उस बारे में.
बट आई कैन हियर द मन में लड्डू. इट इज ऑलमोस्ट एज इफ टीवी में सुनाई पड़ रहे हैं आपके मन में जो लड्डू दौड़ रहे हैं इस वक्त.
नहीं नहीं, ऐसा नहीं है. हमारे पार्टी में जो भी डिसाइड होता है वही होता है.
नहीं, ये केजरीवाल कह रहे हैं कि आप उनके 7 विधायक तोड़ रहे हैं, 15 करोड़ रुपए दे रहे हैं. क्या कर रहे हैं परवेश जी आप? बहुत पैसे लगाने का आरोप लग रहा है आप पे.
देखिए, वो तो 1 महीने से ऐसा बोल रहे हैं, और ये जब से उनको समझ आया कि वो हार रहे हैं तब से वो स्टार्ट हो गए. अभी तो और परसों क्या क्या बोलेंगे, ईवीएम भी हैक हो गया, सब हो गया, अभी ये सब भी बोलेंगे.
सो यू आर कॉन्फिडेंट, यू थिंक यू हैव डन इनफ टू विन?
Yes, my whole cadre, my all party workers have worked really hard, and we should win.
चलिए हम वेट करते हैं सैटरडे की. I'll call you back after the show, but for the time being, Parvesh ji, thank you very much for joining us. He, Rajat, becomes a very crucial player if he does beat Kejriwal. Remember, Kejriwal beat Sheila Dikshit. If Parvesh Verma is able, and remember, he's also had a mixed track record because his Lok Sabha ticket was cut. So if from there, it will be a remarkable turnaround of political fortunes. Patta cut in April, May, June. And from there, if he becomes the giant slayer, what a turnaround it will be.
Well, I'm sure he wouldn't be counting his eggs right now. So the challenge, I think, is BJP's reign such didn't get a ticket. So the party president, the state president himself is not there in the race at least. Among the others that I see, other than Ramesh Biduriji, who's been like a consistent MLA for like 3 terms
and
before
MP
he became
too.
an MP, 2 times an MP, he is also equally strong. So, but these two, Parveshji and
but
Ramesh Biduriji,
Biduru was very controversial in the campaign.
True.
After everything he
so
said
was
about...
he. So therefore, BJP doesn't have much choices. And this is the good thing about running a campaign without a face. Then you can actually come out with a very random face as well, and we'll all be trying to dig up his CV and trying to understand like who is the new probable face of the BJP. That's how BJP operates. I mean, look at
Anmol Pawarji, you're
Odisha.
listening to the excitement in their voices. It's almost as if they think अब तो सोच रहे हैं कि क्या होने वाला है, CM कौन बनेगा, minister कौन बनने वाला है. They're already beginning to calculate those kind of things.
These exit polls
Rahul,
are
can I speak
nothing
or
but...
I'm
No,
coming
I
back to
cannot
you.
speak.
Zafar bhai, I'm coming back to you. Anmol Pawar was itching to make a reaction on what he just heard from Parvesh Verma.
They've
Go
not
on.
done.
I'm coming back to you in a minute.
These exit polls
You
are
didn't allow me to speak.
Zafar bhai, 1 minute, I'm coming back to you in just half a second. Let him complete. I'm coming back to you in 1 minute.
These exit polls are nothing but मनोरंजन polls. इसमें जनता का भरपूर मनोरंजन होता है और जो उनके दिल में लड्डू फूट रहा है उसमें मीठा नहीं, उसमें नमक है बहुत.
Okay.
And you will see that on 8
Zafar
public
Islam, the आप
sentiment
saying you are
on the
rejoicing
ground.
too soon. थोड़ा रुक जाओ, सब्र करो. Wait for the final results.
No, we will definitely wait for the final outcome, Rahul. But let me tell you that we were targeting more than 51% vote. Every worker has worked towards that. And we are very confident of not of our victory, but also that we will get more than 51% vote share. Also, this will be an end of Kejriwalji's politics and political career, because it will be a decisive victory for Bharatiya Janata Party, and every Karyakarta of AAP draws comfort from Kejriwalji. And as you just heard, that he is more 100% going to lose the election, and the party will cease to exist, because people from AAP draw, or all the Karyakartas of AAP draw comfort or confidence from Kejriwal. And if he is going to lose, then definitely party is going to cease to exist going forward. And even Atishi is going to lose. Even the other big leaders of AAP are going to lose, because we are going to win at least 55 seats. And if anything over and above, that will be bonus, because we are targeting 55 to 60. 55 we get, we are more than happy. And we
Rahul
not
Verma,
only
what does
we'll do
a potential defeat
what
for
the expectation of the people of Delhi, we will deliver it.
Arvind Kejriwal in New Delhi and Aam Aadmi Party in Delhi, what could it mean for the AAP project?
Serious trouble going forward. Even if AAP wins Delhi and its senior leaders like Arvind Kejriwal loses election, it will create some friction within the AAP. So that's the first thing. Second, if AAP loses Delhi, think of it, in 2 years they have Punjab, and things in Punjab doesn't look great just for AAP, but I think as a state, Punjab is struggling. And so if AP now loses Delhi, they have not been able to make headway in other states, Punjab will be in serious sort of like existential crisis for AP then. And so AP, which has been claiming to be the fastest growing party for like last decade, the entire project will come to a halt. But that will all depend on what happens on Saturday.
Yashwant Deshmukh, what could a defeat for the Aam Aadmi Party in Delhi mean for the AAP political project?
Certainly, they will be in trouble of sort, because I mean, going out of one state which is their showcase state and going back to Delhi. First of all, I mean, it is going to be bad, but they will start working on their next project probably, which would be Punjab, and basically strengthening themselves further in the state of Gujarat. Where they crashed the Congress tally to a significant damage, causing a significant damage to Congress. However, no matter who wins in Delhi, I see serious trouble for Congress actually. Aam Aadmi Party wins Delhi, it's trouble for them. BJP wins Delhi, it's even worse for them. I don't see how it is.
Why is it worse? The Congress thinks BJP winning is better, because when the BJP wins and as anti-incumbency builds against them, they think AAP will wither and Congress will be the natural opposition. That's the Congress's calculation, frankly.
Well, that's a calculation which would have worked in a long-term project. That we just finish off Aam Aadmi Party and then it is BJP and the Congress in front of each other. I mean, that's a good strategy to work on, but look at the context of the immediate political scenario. I mean, their tally to 99 was somehow being analyzed as 199, and BJP's tally of 240 was somehow being analyzed as 140 in the narrative so far. And look at how all the opposition parties have started questioning Congress leadership. So
no, but the narrative, I don't agree. The narrative changed post Haryana, cemented further post Maharashtra. This is really about opposition narrative. If Kejriwal stands as a counter to Rahul Gandhi, it's to the disadvantage of the Congress party. If Kejriwal's out of the way, AAP is out of the way, it's better for the Congress.
I don't agree with that, because Kejriwal is not going out of the way, Rahul. I mean, win or lose, he is not going to be out of the way. Come to think of it, he is there to stay. He is not a kind of a politician who will just bow out and bow down and say that, okay, thank you very much, I am taking a retirement. It's not going to happen. I mean, look at the way from the perspective of Bihar, impending Bihar elections. What do you think from here onward Tejasvi Yadav is going to offer Congress? After whatever happens in Delhi, it doesn't really matter to him. So yeah, I mean, if
okay, Rajat said he wants to come in. He's got different
somebody.
views from yours, so let's listen to what he has to say. Rajat.
See, I think from the Congress party's perspective, they have been hell-bent, especially the Delhi unit was very clear. I'm not talking about the ivory tower that Rahul Gandhi ji sits in. But the rest of the Congress party is pretty clear that if they do not see an emptied opposition space or Aam Aadmi Party out of its way, it will not have that, kickstarter to actually restart their project. And Delhi,
Yes.
see, why is Delhi so important is because there are microphones in Delhi. It acts as a force multiplier.
Absolutely.
From here onwards, if Kejriwal is out and somehow, Congress is able to then resurrect its party here in Delhi itself, it is then going to be that central force because we have discussed this before. Even in Lok Sabha elections or any other state, the main fulcrum remains the Congress party. Aam Aadmi Party has sort of been a distraction, a point of friction for the India Alliance. Why has the India Alliance project come to a halt? It is principally because of parties like the Aam Aadmi Party who are never comfortable with the Congress helming the affairs. And you look at Punjab, they are at loggerheads. You look at Delhi, they were here. You look at Haryana, Gujarat, everywhere it is, both of these parties are clamoring for the same limited space. And it becomes very hard for Congress to actually attain that critical mass to be that fulcrum for India Alliance. If that fulcrum goes away, the entire India Alliance project falls apart. It's lose for opposition.
What Sheila Dikshit you also used to think that and correctly think that they have to finish up in order to resurrect Congress. But then if that was the thought process, they should not have gone ahead with Aam Aadmi Party in the Lok Sabha elections. You see, 4 years Congress worked so hard in Delhi. I mean, to credit where due, Ajay Makand really worked hard. I mean, liquor scam to everything. It was a groundwork of Congress against the Aam Aadmi Party. But they just frittered it away by going into alliance at the Lok Sabha level. I mean, how can the public go back to Congress and say that, okay, you built a case...
But can I counter this to say, from the BJP's perspective, Zafar Islam, and I know he won't agree, the BJP would much rather take on Rahul Gandhi and the Congress party than take on Arvind Kejriwal and AAP, because AAP irritates them. The Congress they like these sloppy, lazy kind of opponents who are much easier to take down. The AAP gets under their skin and irks them much more than the Congress does. The Rahul Gandhi-led Congress versus the Modi-led BJP is the ideal face-off from the BJP's perspective.
Rahul, there are two things. One, that we are not overly concerned or worried about any of the opposition parties. We know exactly what is the battleground and who we are fighting against. And every battle is different. We know that and we prepare ourselves accordingly. So in Delhi, we know that we have to fight the battle between us and Kejriwal. Likewise, in other states, it is between some other political parties. But all we want, there should not be peace in the opposition camp. That detests us completely. They should keep fighting between them, and that works to our advantage. And that is something which is happening in Delhi, elsewhere, and that works to our advantage. And we want to see that happening all the time.
Okay, BJP people speaking as candidly as they can, saying "Ladte raho, hamare liye acha hai." That's true as well. There is no taking away from that. Rahul Verma, your broad sense on how this victory could potentially mean that Modi's third term appears that much more significant. There was anti-incumbency. The BJP in the third term slipped, but 10 years of anti-incumbency against Kejriwal, see where he is in the polls, 10 years of anti-incumbency against Modi, he still came out at 240.
So if BJP wins Delhi, then I think they are in a driver's seat to take the politics of this country for a very, very long time.
तो अभी कहाँ बैठे हैं? अभी भी तो driver seat पे ही बैठे हैं.
But think of it, like, see, politics is not just about like where, like how many seats they have and the strength in the parliament. The way I'm thinking about it, after the loss in Lok Sabha, and that was just a setback in number of seats, for 2.5 months, it seemed like that BJP is in a free fall situation. And you rightly pointed out that Haryana basically put a break to that sort of like free fall. Maharashtra kind of reversed it, and Delhi might put them on a accelerated path. Think of it, each of these three states were difficult, and Delhi is sort of a state which they have not won for 27 years. And given Delhi, as Rajat was saying, is a microcosm of Indian politics, it's a hard state for BJP at a assembly level to figure out with what right kind of strategy to go and win. This was a state where they were doing well in Lok Sabha, but was not able to win in state level. So in that sense, it will put them on an accelerated path. Two, it will challenge or sort of like bring a sort of rising opponent. As you again said, Aam Aadmi Party and Kejriwal is an irritant for them. Irritant in a way that they in some way bring out some of the issues which other parties bring out post-poll, right? Think of it. Congress complains of a voter turnout increase and other kind of things after the elections have happened and no evidence and nothing. Aam Aadmi Party preempts any of those things.
इतना जोर से बोला कि वोटर टर्नआउट इंक्रीज ही नहीं हुआ 11:30 के बाद.
कम हो गया.
No, but there is a real problem there. But I also want to say that anybody who thinks that the BJP is now in the driver's seat for Bihar, that's not the case. Those are different elections. Here the BJP, JDU are in power. Nitish Kumar is a diminishing, declining force, even though he holds a large part of his caste vote share. Each election is different. So one doesn't set necessarily the tone for the other. But yes, on television and on social media, mahal matters. And to that extent, the mahal will be set as a result. Yashwant, could anything change? I know that there are those in the Aam Aadmi Party who I've been speaking to who think women could see them through. They know that they're falling, they know they're declining, but they think women are their Brahmastra who could help them win.
It is their Brahmastra, not just women, but the low-income group is their Brahmastra as well. So the turnouts basically are deceiving, look deceiving many a time simply because we know for sure that the low-income group minorities, their turnout has been significantly higher than when compared to the middle classes of Delhi and other metropolitan cities in India. So that is where their expectation or hope against hope is coming from. If they manage to win, then it will be only and only because of the low income group, the bottom of the pyramid and the females. But somehow, if the BJP manages to take this lead of the middle class Delhi, and by the way, Delhi remains a significantly big middle class population, then it would be a perfect case study. And I understand, I never take Zafar Bhai's words very lightly. He always says and rubs it to my nose, I told you so kind of thing in Maharashtra or in Haryana. So yes, I go by with full respect to what he's saying. And if BJP manages to win, then it would be a case study of probably the sharpest turnaround or the sharpest late swing, Rahul, because you remember when we were discussing our tracker, between union budget and the polling day, in those 72 hours, we have seen one of the sharpest turns of the middle class voters in this country. And if that happens, then this will go down as a case history of how precisely the BJP has made Delhi go the way they wanted to go. So between these two things, one is very clear. Aam Aadmi Party is no more in that pedestal, in the high thing that they are cool and comfortable. Obviously, they are fighting with their back there on the wall. They just want to win this election somehow. I mean, that's understandable. But the BJP has kind of created a scene where they are very, very uncertain how it is going, where the narrative is going against them, the vote bank and the momentum is going against them. Most importantly, the momentum in the last 15 days, 1 week and last 72 hours, that has gone against Aam Aadmi Party. So, perfect case study to see how things change in very quickly. I mean,
but there can I just say that Delhi is particularly unique, and I want Rahul Verma to add to this, because it's a very small city state and very high penetration of social media. You can't do this in Uttar Pradesh or Bihar in the same way, or Madhya Pradesh. Lots of dark areas there, not complete internet access, not as much social media mobility, and therefore, Rahul Verma, you can do this T20 style last over pyrotechnics in Delhi. It doesn't necessarily work in all states, but this was the match they were playing, and in that sense, the SOPs offered by Nirmala Sitharaman did have an important role to play, and Delhi has more middle class voters as a percentage than any other Indian state.
That's true, but I think a combination of things must have happened if we are going to see the kind of results we are seeing. One, I think the first thing that must have happened, which is that a feedback from the BJP cadres or RSS cadre, what message needs to be delivered. In some ways, within a month, what we could see, like after 15th December, there was a change in messaging. While Sheesh Mahal and Raj Mahal still remain part of it, I think civic issues started also coming in. They announced a lot of schemes, hoping that they have to wean away some of the poor, because just the middle class consolidation through income tax sort of like rebates would not be enough to get this kind of number. But the income tax thing might have done the last sort of like thing which was needed, because unless you consolidate what is your core, there is no enthusiasm. So I think the Nirmala Sitharaman sort of like announcement in the budget in last 2-3 days would have created the final momentum that this is what was missing. They had offered few things to the poor, but what about us, the middle class, which has been the core voter of this
So
party.
that was like the khoya on top of the gajar ka halwa, or the badam on top of the gajar ka, whatever it is that you want to call it. But that's really the icing on the cake. But the thing is, there is a big lesson there. Rahul Gandhi picked up the constitution and went on in the Maharashtra assembly elections, despite enough data suggesting that it wasn't connecting as an electoral issue. It did connect in the Lok Sabha election, because there the constitution was at stake. In the assembly election, people didn't think the constitution was really an electoral issue. The BJP went on and on about Sheesh Mahal, about corruption. They figured midway during the campaign that it wasn't connecting. They pivoted very quickly to sewage, to roads, to water, to toilets, and that's really what was, and saying, jo ye de raha hai, hum denge, hum aur denge. We'll give you, we'll be Kejriwal plus. That's why they won. They've not won because of the BJP model of governance. They'll say, we'll give you everything Kejriwal does, and we'll give you what the BJP is known for.
See, this is where, batters and bowlers both are needed. All that the BJP's batters did were defend effectively, and then the bowlers came in for the attack. So much so that, they kept attacking over the last 10 days. The spokespersons of the Aam Aadmi Party, they just didn't have any defense. You look at Swati Maliwal taking a bottle into the Yamuna, trying to show the water and the color of the water. And then the old image of New Delhi constituency where people were literally jumping onto that water tanker, if you remember that iconic picture of Arvind Kejriwal's own constituency. This is where things started, hurting the Aam Aadmi Party at the core. The problem is that when credibility and character goes away, everything is lost. It's not just about an election losing or not. What has happened with Arvind Kejriwal and the Aam Aadmi Party is that this party was not, designed to contest on a same pitch where BJP or Congress were playing. They created a different plane for themselves, where even the BJP's voters...
तो परेशान बहुत किया ना उनको.
जो भी हुआ, for whatever reasons. See, they created a plank where even a BJP's voter, hardcore BJP's voter, was not ashamed to go and vote for Kejriwal or go and even canvass for Aam Aadmi Party. It's because of that beauty of politics that he said that, see, I'm apolitical. I'm here to change the
respond to this. The fact that he came with the image of being a party with a difference, an anti-corruption crusader, and all of that over 10 years. That rhetoric didn't match the delivery, which is why this model, at least in these polls, seems to have unraveled.
Mr. Kanwal, the desperate attempts made by these pollsters to manipulate the narrative won't yield any result, because the public sentiment on the ground tells a completely different story. We are getting a thumping majority, and on the counting day, you'll see that the results will shatter these misleading polls into pieces. Because sachai ye hai that the people of Delhi have voted for the Mahila Samman Yojana, for the Sanjeevani Yojana, for the welfare schemes, which are helping them save more than 35,000 rupees per month, not for Bharatiya Janata Party's Gundagardi. If you look at the last 15 days of the elections, the Bharatiya Janata Party tried all dirty tactics. गुंडागर्दी पे उतर आए ये इन्होंने they marked ink on the fingers of in the Jhuggi clusters in the New Delhi Assembly constituency. They were seen bribing the voters. क्या नहीं किया इन्होंने? Because they were desperate. They know.
Okay, respond to this, that you may have won or you may win Zafar Islam, but you've done everything. Saam, Dam, Dand, Bhed, hook and by crook, do what it takes to win. That's what it really came down to. Respond to those charges.
Rahul, every election we fight using all our might. We definitely analyze the strengths and weaknesses of the opposition parties and we work our strategy around it. This is what we have done in the past. This is what we have done. The Gundagardi is something which is known for to Kejriwal. People can associate it with Kejriwal, not with our party. Having said that, it appears to be that Kejriwal's story is over. AAP story is over. Party will cease to exist post this election, and Kejriwal will have to come back to muffler sharp politician again. But he has lost his credibility. 10 years ago, he had the credibility. He was using Anna Hazare. Today there will be nobody to support him because everyone knows that anybody or everybody who supported him actually had to find the Kejriwal had to push him away from him. So that's why everybody knows that nobody will come around and support him.
Let me put that question to Yashwant Deshmukh. I don't agree with what Zafar Islam is saying. He thinks this is the end of Kejriwal and the end of AAP. AAP has proven to be a very pugnacious political party, and Kejriwal in particular, he's been knocked down in the past. He finds some way of bouncing back to life. Do you think a defeat in Delhi is the end of Kejriwal and AAP, or do you think it's a big setback for sure, but don't rule him out?
Kejriwal is a different political animal, Rahul. I mean, no way he is going to fade away. I mean, for a simple fact, when was the last time you saw any other political party forcing Zafar Bhai's political party to come and force them to play on their pitch? BJP for the last few years have been asking vote against the Revdi culture, and they were forced by Kejriwal to play on their pitch of committing Revdi culture and enhancing Revdi culture.
Culture nahi sir, dukaan laga di Revdiyon ki. That's what it took.
And not only that, he was a sneaky enough player to go and steal singles on the Hindutva pitch of the BJP. Rohingyas ho, chahe 370 ho, chahe
one important thing,
Rahul. So I mean, he may lose this election. That's a probability. I'm not denying. Yes, Zafar Bhai's party may very well win this election, but I doubt that anybody who has seen politics. I mean, come to think of it, if Rahul Gandhi can survive
I want to make one comment.
Kejriwal has a much better.
I want to make one
but there's a difference. Rahul Gandhi has the massive, even if it's moribund, Congress organization structure, the ethos and the idea of the Congress, which is much bigger than any leader. Kejriwal has AAP, which is a very new political formation. So that's the difference.
10 seconds I will take.
Zafar Bhai, I'm out of time, so jaldi bolo.
Sir, only thing I want to say that Kejriwal is associated with anti-corruption crusader. People voted for him to fight since he was fighting against the corruption. But he himself is now a corrupt man, a corrupt politician.
Sir, अभी prove नहीं हुआ, परेशान तो आपने खूब किया, but it's not proven yet.
एक मफलर तो मिला नहीं आपको 2 साल में.
No. So he will lose people's confidence. He will lose people's confidence. He has lost people's confidence, and now he is not going to be a politician of this repute ever after this post-election.
You are losing this election.
Chalo ji. I just wish to say this in the end, that doing these kind of shows
handsomely we are winning.
Definitive opinions given by our pundits just a few hours before actual counting can often be injurious to health and credibility. Therefore, hold it all back, put lots of ifs and buts and conditionalities, so that if the result is different on the 8th, Amol Pawar will come with a jhadu. He will come to your office with a jhadu and say,
I'll come with the sweets. I'll come with some sweets.
I'll come with sweets, he says, not with a jhadu. So let's just wait. The pundits have spoken. We'll wait till the fat lady sings. For joining us on this broadcast.